You already know how good Flygon is in Fantasy Cup, but hear me out. Do you know how good a double Flygon backline can be? Because today's content is all about that, and of course the second Flygon is gonna be Gabite. Gabite, whatever you want to call it, this Pokemon definitely bites out any opponent. So I'm just gonna call it Gabite, okay? So here comes now the Weezing, which is gonna be pretty good up in front, able to deal with those Azumarils effectively, and of course carries the move Overhit alongside Sludge to destroy down the Steel type. So the perfect core breaker for any weird Azumaril plus Registeel core out there. So with that in mind now, we need to sometimes switch aggressively into our Flygon, try to draw out that Azumaril so that then our Bane, our Gabite will be on a very good spot, defeating whatever else remains at the back. So this is the strategy, this is a pure ABB team, and that B on ABB is gonna be absolutely identical because we're having a Dragon slash Ground type on both of those backline nodes. So here comes now the Dragonclaw from my end to theirs, to the Flygon, but they end up farming up a lot of energy. I'm expecting them to go here straight for the Scorching Suns, and of course we managed to catch on our Gabite, trying to catch the Dragonclaw now on our Weezing, and of course we can do exactly that. Mobile goes in, so I'm not gonna throw the Sludge, instead the Overhit, down they go, Flygon now with the switch, and of course we can outspeed here to the Dig in a very close victory to start off the video. Into the next battle now, and we're having Weezing up against the Flygon. So this one is kinda scary, okay? Because those ground types are not gonna be that good against my fairy typing, but of course against the poison, they're just gonna dominate. So here comes now my Sludge, which is gonna be served as a bait move at this point. My opponent cannot know right straight off the bat what move I might carry. Just remember that Weezing can always carry the move Play Rough, which can easily one-shot any dragon type in the meta. So here comes now Overhit on the Steel type, down they go, we don't care at all, and now smashing that switch button to our own Flygon. They have a shield, we have none, but still we can survive one Dragonclaw while they cannot. This can be pretty good for us now because we can easily get to the Dragonclaw, and of course they need to sacrifice their remaining energy if they want to guarantee the knockout, otherwise their Flygon will go down. So my Flygon instead faints, but it doesn't matter, we can still go in there with our Sludge and our Weezing, which is gonna be kinda good for them. They can survive, but still they're kinda low at the same time, so we can absolutely take advantage of that. So at this point I'm just gonna get my hands on the Sludge, and we have to go ahead and throw one more if we want to have any chance at all up against my opponent. They're getting super low here, I'm just gonna switch in there my Gabite, and let's see what moves that they carry, because they're gonna throw their Play Rough, which is pretty scary. We're getting super low here, and all we need to do is to reach the Dig, and right after one more mud shot to guarantee the victory against a very skillful opponent. And yeah, that was kinda weird, but the ending absolutely worth it. Into the next one now, and we're having the Azumaril once again up in front while they're trying to catch one Sludge on the Registeel, but we know better and we're gonna throw the Overhit instead, then switching out, clearing the debuff with a switch out to our Flygon, which is pretty great. And now all we have to do is to go ahead and completely farm down. We are left up with a double Scorching Suns, which can be pretty scary by a lot of Pokemon, but not by Azumaril. This one can absolutely tank those moves. So here comes the first one and the second, double attack drop. This is awesome, and we managed to get into the fight now with our Weezing. Whatever they throw at this point, we can easily take it. They're double debuffed, and right after we still need to respect the damage from the second one because I totally miscalculated here, and all I want to do is to finish off this Pokemon with a simple Sludge, but I'm also expecting the switch. That's why I was over farming all the time. Now at the back they have that Turtonator, and we get to the Overhit for no reason at all. That was a very bad play by my Weezing, so obviously you can do much better than I do over here if you manage to get your hands on a much better skill set for your own good. So here comes now the dig on the shield and one more to guarantee the second shield out of the way. So they need to throw some energy here, okay? Otherwise we're gonna get to another dig and they're just gonna get destroyed down. So it is gonna be the Dragon Pulse right after we can still reach to that sludge and we can guarantee finally the knockout up against the Turtonator. What a crazy battle that was. Into the next battle now and we're having a Mowile up against us. This Pokemon is kinda bad, okay, because we need to go through with the overhit. Otherwise, if they start shielding, they can get a lot of energy on their side and eventually finish me off. However, the backline can really help with that matter, so it is not the end of the world or anything. So on the switch we're meeting up with a Tapu Fini, and you know what, it seems like they're kinda weak now to my Flygon because we can absolutely go ahead and throw more Scorching Suns along the way. So with that in mind now, they're gonna get destroyed down by the next move while we have one more ready to go as well. So we're expecting their final Pokemon to emerge and that final Pokemon is an Azumarill. Whenever my opponent is having something like a Tapu Fini, I can always expect an Azumarill alongside it because why use a Tapu Fini if you can already use an Azumarill, right, on the Great League formats. So with that in mind, we can expect that Pokemon. Now switching out to our Weezing, we can expect the unexpected here, and now they're gonna throw the next move, which is just another Power Up Punch. We can survive those, overhit now for the big damage output, and they sealed. This is pretty crucial because this means now that they have a lot of energy, but at the same time they are getting severely weak to my moves. Here comes now Gabite, which can easily reach to the dig. Let's get that sweet victory, and now with Azumarill into play, all we have to do here is to block the next move and Gabite will emerge as our savior. But first we need to catch on our Flygon. I said we need to catch, but obviously we could easily win the CMP here, but it doesn't matter, we can still destroy them down in a single blow. So into the next battle now against Cryocold here, which is leading with a Flygon on a shadow form. Are you kidding me? And also we're lagging, as you can see. So we're just gonna block the first one, okay? But every single Flygon goes for the Dranclo for some reason, so you can always let the first one go through. You saw there I pressed the sludge for the bait, but it never was really pressed, so yeah, I'm not impressed. Haha, bad pun. Anyways, you are already used to it. We're down to shields, we have to get our hands on the overhit, and we managed to go through that final shield, so down goes that Flygon. Immediately switching that clearing the debuff, not switching the debuff, but by switching out to our Flygon. This is what I meant to say. So here comes now another move, but this time it is gonna be a lethal with that play rough, so down we go, and it doesn't matter that much. It really depends on what they might be having at the back, especially when we have a Gabite remaining with a simple dig to destroy all those steel types. So they end up having a red steel, which is the metal trash can, and now Gabite will come into the battle with those digs to deal massive damage on that Pokemon. To my surprise though, they reach to the Zap Cannon, which applies the debuff on our side, and with that shield remaining now on their end, that was a pretty smart move. We can reach now to a double dig, but the second dig will not deal a lot of damage, especially after the debuff, so we will just fall short here to this metal trash can, and the Focus Blast will just destroy us down. Well played to my opponent, and now let's move forward into the next one, as we're having an Azumarill once again up against us. You know what, this is kinda good for us, because we want to have this Pokemon out of the way as soon as possible, so that our backline can excel. So with that in mind now, we're just gonna bring into play our Flygon to counter their switch to that Turtonator. So Scorching Suns here, able to one-shot down before they do anything weird that Incinerator, and of course right after we see the return of the Azumarill. By blocking once, we can still get our hands on those Scorching Suns, which is pretty great. Now this Pokemon is getting super low, and I have a feeling that I cannot sacrifice a second shield in the process. Instead, I'm just gonna go in there with my Weezing, expecting their final Pokemon. Here comes now my Sludge, able to deal a lot of damage. I'm kidding, just gonna get the shield here. And of course right after we have the overhit, which is gonna go through, and look at the damage output, absolutely insane. The battle is definitely not over yet, get. I'm expecting here the Dragon Claw, a lot of damage, but still nothing that we cannot survive. Another Dragon Claw is imminent right on the CMP, which is something that I was not prepared for. I thought that Gabite could get those CMPs on its side. It doesn't matter, another move is coming up. Are you kidding me? This Dragon Claw will just finish me off, and now Weezing can easily farm down. It all depends now who can outspeed who. Eventually we're gonna do that, they know that, so they back out and we can get another huge victory for our team. Into the next battle now, and the final one for the video, having a mobile up against our Weezing. So this Pokemon is just gonna be kind of troublesome as before, because we need to get that overhit through, and if they start blocking, things can get out of hand. You can see here how easy it is for it to get the shield out of our Dragon type, especially with the threat of a play rough, but instead they get to the bait and the pop. So with that in mind now, we're just gonna block whatever they throw with that Escavalier, and because we cannot farm down right on time, we're just gonna be able to finish them off with a Dragon Claw, sacrificing a few of those crucial energy points. Another move is coming off from our side, but this time up against a Ferrothorn. Are you kidding me? Who is playing that Pokemon? Anyways, here comes now Power Whip, and of course we're gonna see now that we need to return with Weezing, right? No, with Gabite. Okay, outplaying myself here. So here comes now the dig on the Steel type. I'm expecting them to block because they're getting super close to a move here, and now before they get to the play rough, I'm just gonna reach my hands on the Sludge. So they're getting super low, they have to throw at this point, not gonna go for my move because I want them to survive with a little bit of energy, and as you can see here, they already had a double move, so that was a pretty lucky one for me because we still managed to get to the flamethrower, but if they could get first to their power up punch and then the play rough, things could go sideways. So that is gonna be all for today, trainers. Thank you for watching and for staying till the end. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and over here I have 2 videos for you to check out. Feel free to check them out, and I will catch you up later into the next one.